For joining us here at noon, I'm Brooke Hash. Right out of the gate this legislative session, a Louisville lawmaker has introduced legislation that would lead up to the splitting of JCPS. But this time it would come with a catch. The final decision would be up to the Louisville Metro Council and then your vote. Isaiah Kim Martinez and photojournalist Aspen Hester explain.
And so this bill would give the people a mechanism, a way out of a significantly underperforming school district, which they currently don't have today.
It's a new Kentucky Republican effort to consider breaking up JCPS into smaller districts, right as the school system faces a financial crisis.
Well, I think that JCPS is in serious need of reform and change. And
State Representative Jared Bauman of Louisville filing a bill on day one of this year's legislative session in Frankfort. If it passes, it would give the Louisville Metro Council the power to approve splitting JCPS into at least 2 districts with a simple majority vote. Jefferson County voters would have the final say at the ballot box.
If it passes with the majority vote, it would go to the people to choose whether or not they wanted to adopt this new map, these new school districts in their area.
Bauman's legislation is aimed at school districts that have the majority of Kentucky's underperforming schools. That's measured by the state education department, and it's no secret JCPS is the focus here. But Bauman says his proposal doesn't yet have the support of Republican leadership in the state House or Senate. When asked about Bauman's bill, House Republicans kept their cards close.
I haven't even seen the list of bills filed, so I can't say that it is a priority bill because I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't read that. I don't know what it is. I've heard about it, but I haven't read the particulars of it.
In a statement, a JCPS spokesperson told me, quote, "At this time, we do not have any comment." It comes as Kentucky Senate President Robert Stivers, a Republican, says there have been discussions about state oversight of JCPS.
It would apply to our larger school systems.
In what way?
I don't know what you mean by in what way. I'm not going to give you the substance of the bill.
Stivers does say he wants to give JCPS Superintendent Brian Yearwood, just months in the role, the time to turn the school system around.
I don't think anybody disagrees that it's got problems and he needs to deal with those problems. And so we give him that opportunity.
How much time Yearwood has before the state steps in will be clearer as the session moves forward. In Frankfort, Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS 11 on your side.
We also contacted a few Louisville Metro Council members, including the council president, for comment. The ones we heard back from said they weren't aware of this proposal. We'll, of course, be following its movement very closely in Frankfort. Republican State Senator Jimmy Higdon wants you to put the phone down. He just filed Senate Bill 28, called the Phone Down Kentucky Act. If passed, it would prevent nearly all handheld mobile devices from being used while driving. The senator said he hopes to eliminate gaps in the state law that allows drivers to use their cell phones in the car. The bill is inspired by the 2021 death of 2-year-old Kimberly Burns, who was killed by a distracted driver. A new face joining the Kentucky Senate this session, and it's someone you might know. Democrat Gary Clemens was officially sworn in this week, representing parts of southwest Jefferson County.
So help you God. Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Last month, Clemens won the special election to fill the District 37 seat left vacant by David Yates, now interim Jefferson County Clerk. Clemens is a U.S. Army reservist veteran and longtime labor leader. Happening tonight, Governor Andy Beshear is going to talk to you about the future of Kentucky. It's the annual State of the Commonwealth address. The governor said he'll lay out his budget and plans for how your tax dollars will go to work. That speech is at 5:30. Our political reporter Isaiah Kim Martinez will be there with full coverage. And you can get the latest from Beshear's speech and this year's legislative session by following along on our mobile app and the WHAS 11 YouTube page. Indiana lawmakers are getting to work on their own ideas for the future of the Hoosier State. Already, one proposal could change the way the death penalty plays out for people convicted of the most serious crimes. It would make the firing squad an option for execution and give the choice to the person being executed. It's one of 2 pieces of legislation that would make firing squad deaths illegal. As it stands right now, executions in Indiana are carried out only by lethal injection.
There is no perfect execution method. There's problems with each and every one, and there's documented cases where the chemicals didn't work and the person was convulsing and foaming at the mouth. There's no way that we can do it and be 100% perfect. But we don't want to wait until we have an emergency and then say, oh my gosh, what do we do? We're not even in session. We can't even change the law.
Another proposal in Indy could mean fewer choices for you at the ballot box. House Joint Resolution 2 would eliminate elections for 460 positions across the state. Jobs like county auditor, recorder, treasurer, surveyor, and the coroner would be appointed instead by the county commissioner rather than by voters. Now, Marion County Coroner Alfarina McGinty said she's worried about a county executive having that much control.
My service to the families are the voters, and it's important that they have a say as to who is going to be the qualified person to conduct those death investigations objectively.
Now, because the resolution would amend the state constitution, it is not treated as a typical bill. This would first have to pass the House, then to the Senate, then be approved directly by voters. House Representative Elizabeth Roray introduced the measure, saying give counties the option to consolidate certain duties under the county executive if they choose to do so locally. 12:05 on your Wednesday, made it through half of the work week and seen a little bit more sun than we had anticipated at the beginning, Matthew.
Yeah, absolutely. Seeing some nice sunshine for the middle part of this week. And we're going to continue that at least for the next couple of hours before we do see those clouds move back in for us this afternoon. But looking at our U of L health cam from Jeffersonville, yeah, looking pretty good. Just a little bit of some hazy, sunny conditions out there for you this afternoon. Current temperatures are not too warm, though. We're seeing the sunshine, but the temperatures are really struggling to reach even the 50s for this afternoon. We're at 46 degrees here in Louisville, 44 in Shepherdsville, but you head further south, Munfordville at 54 degrees, Litchfield at 53 degrees. Overall, give you a look at those weather headlines. We're kind of in a half and half day. We'll see the sunshine throughout the first half of the day, and eventually the back half we'll see more of those at least clouds roll in for us. But overall, just some mild temperatures as we continue to see this January thaw out there for us. But that rain pattern is still on track for us. Satellite and radar does have those clouds kind of clearing up for this afternoon. And as we go towards the next several hours, yeah, we'll continue to see at least some partly sunshine out there for you, 2 p.m. through 4 p.m. as highs top off just around 55 degrees. Back into tonight, we'll drop into the 40s once again. That bus stop forecast heading home for today will be right at 55 as well, with mostly sunny skies. Overall, those high temperatures, mid-50s across the area, but we are tracking, of course, that rain on the way for us, especially as we go towards your Friday morning and likely your Friday morning commute. I'll be talking about all those details and how much rain we'll see coming up in just a few minutes. Back over to you, Brooke.
All right, thanks, Matthew. The man accused of kidnapping a Linden mother and her 2 children and using them to rob a bank showed up to court today after refusing to leave his cell Tuesday. Armand Langford was on shock probation at the time for a number of other robberies. Well, today a judge was expected to revoke that probation, meaning he'd head back to prison and serve the remainder of his original sentence. But the judge postponed that decision until Langford undergoes a competency hearing. In court today, he said he wanted to have his probation revoked.
Mr. Langford, I done got stabbed. I'm trying to get revoked, fam. I want to get revoked. I'm not trying to be here. I just got stabbed. I don't want to be here.
So right now, we're not at the stage where I'm making a finding on whether or not you will be revoked. Your case will be moving forward.
Now, we did reach out to Metro Corrections about that comment he made, having been stabbed in jail. And we were told from a spokesperson over at LMDC that Langford has been involved in some incidents. That's as much as they would say. They said any more information would require an open records request. Langford's competency hearing has been scheduled for March 5th. And a traffic alert for you this afternoon. This one out of Shelby County. KYTC said traffic on Mount Eden Road, otherwise known as Kentucky 53, will be moved to a newly constructed bridge over I-64 at around 2 o'clock this afternoon. And once that happens, the I-64 West on-ramp will stay closed for about 3 to 4 days. Nightly closures of I-64 are also expected to demolish the existing Mount Eden Road bridge.